got too loud. The mugger held off as Brock slid into an alley, well before the clock tower situated on the corner of the Palace of Westminster. Restoration on the clock had just finished, and it had been opened to the public again. The UK public. Only residents could visit during the day. The crafty went at night. Brock waited for the shadow to enter the alley and uttered an annoyed, "Can you hurry up? I've got an appointment to keep." The person possessed a tall, lanky grace, his pale skin appearing as if he never went out in the day. He had a slight beard on his square chin. Dressed in a suit, he didn't resemble any muggers Brock had ever encountered. And he smelled... A sensitive sniffer, Brock grimaced. "Jesus, man, did you bathe in a vat of cologne? You know you're only supposed to dab. Stop talking." The voice tried to sound stern, and the eyes got an angry crinkle. Brock sighed. "I thought London had some of the wiliest muggers in the world. You are really disappointing me. Would you shut up and put your hands out to the side? Like this?" he asked, spreading them, looking like a welcoming victim. "About time. I just wanted a snack before dealing with..." The mumbling man neared, and Brock's hand shot out, grabbing him by the throat. "I told you, I have an appointment to keep, so consider this a warning. Go back to Mommy or Daddy's house. Get online and find a real job. Maybe one that will teach you to be less useless because mugging is not your thing." Wide eyes stared. The mouth gaped. The fellow didn't struggle, but he did whisper, "You're not supposed to be here." "What's that supposed to mean?" Brock asked, trying not to sneeze at the strong perfume. "I'm going to tell." "A tattletale, too. Can't say I'm surprised." Brock lost the battle and sneezed. While he did his best to cover his mouth with the crook of his free arm, the mugger still whined, "Ew, that's disgusting." "Blame your what the fuck. Take some advice and ditch the cologne." He thrust the mugger from him, who ogled him for only a second before running. Fast little fucker. Brock went on his way, having studied maps beforehand so he knew where to go. The palace holding Big Ben also doubled as the House of Commons, and it was through a utility door held open by a janitor, whom he'd bribed after discovering him online in a forum, offering after-hour tours, that he entered and made his way from the Commons section to the clock tower. To his surprise, the hairs on his nape lifted as he trod the empty halls, using the route recommended by the janitor, who knew where the cameras sat and which ones his buddy placed on a loop to facilitate their side trade. A glance over his shoulder showed no one's shadowing, and yet he couldn't rid himself of the nagging sense he wasn't alone. Wishful thinking? After all, Brock had felt isolated most of his life. His birth family, while well-meaning, were highbrow scholars who didn't understand a guy like Brock who preferred to work with hands. He didn't mind getting dirty and dared to join the army, making his bum brother, the poet who lived in the basement, the better son. He'd not had contact with them in years. The military was his family once he left home. The men he served with became his true brothers. Alas, due to his captivity, he only had 2 brothers left, Quinn, who'd joined a pack in Canada, and Gunnar, who was going through an existential crisis. It took the keycard Brock borrowed, along with some actual keys, to get inside Big Ben and climb the 300-some steps to the top. Once there, he marveled at the inner workings of the clock. Kind of cool. As he was about to explore further, a soft but very feminine voice stopped him dead. "You're trespassing." A glance showed a woman, her shapely figure wearing all black, which included a hood, sitting high up on a beam. "As are you." He offered her a smile. Her leap had his eyes widening as she barely bent her knees as she landed and strode for him, a sashaying, curvy figure that literally took his breath. A glance within her deep cowl showed she wore a fabric mask that covered her from the nose down. "I have every right to be here. You don't. Your kind are forbidden in London."